guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, especially if you love saving money on makeup. I do a lot of makeup reviews, tutorials, demos, balancing on a budget. This is kind of similar to that category. Today, I wanted to talk about my favorite products from E.L.F. Cosmetics. So I've already done two other videos. One was my favorite MILANI Cosmetics products, and recently, right before this, I just filmed my favorite Maybelline products. And honestly, I asked you guys to put in the comments down below what brand you would like to see next. And I even did a poll on my Instagram, which you should follow me here, because I was kind of torn. Should I do a full face of makeup with nothing over $10, or should I do my favorites for E.L.F. Cosmetics? And honestly, it's been neck and neck. E.L.F. was just kind of up there just a little bit more, but it's like back and forth. And by the time I was like, all right, I have time, let's sit down, and which video are we doing? E.L.F. was kind of, you know, the winner. So next, I will do my full face of nothing over $10. But today, I went through my E.L.F. stash, and I want to also show you guys these products as they apply to my face. I'm wearing everything today that I'm talking about, and we've even got some extras. Let's just say I've tried a lot of E.L.F. products. I feel like as E.L.F., their quality keeps getting better, but their price point is definitely still one of my favorites from the drugstore, and they just keep stepping their game up, but they're not really like, you know, have some other drugstore brands. They're charging like $20, $17 for some of these things. So I really appreciate that E.L.F. is still very drugstore friendly, fair prices. I'm looking at everything that I have right here. Most things are pretty much nothing over $10. I think just one thing, maybe, no, just one thing is over $10, and that's like, what, 14, 15, maybe $16, and it's a whole eyeshadow palette type of a deal. So let's talk about some of my favorite E.L.F. products, and I'll also list down below in the description bar, because I've done so many reviews and demos, the actual like in-depth review demo of these products you guys can check out. So let's talk about the first product from E.L.F. I just reviewed this, try this out. I had to get a bunch of their newest products to stay up to date, make sure I'm on it, and talking about as many products as I can, trying as many as I can. But I have actually really been liking their newest eyeshadow palettes. I picked up mine in the new classic. So this type of format of their eyeshadow palettes, I think are amazing. I've tried their other like smaller palettes and I've liked, but I think this is the first type of like palette that I've been really like, I can see myself using this every day. I love the variety that you kind of get here, and they have a couple different tones. So I bought this one, some nice like kind of nudie cooler tones. They've also got one, I think it's like opposite attract, so you have like warms and cools, and they've got some other colorful palettes. I'm low-key looking forward to any other color schemes for this type of palette specifically, because for me, I love the formula, I love the blendability, and I love the pigmentation. Even more, I love the price point. You get 18 different shades, and for me, while I said I was like, this isn't my number one like color scheme, but this is definitely my number one type of formula. Although today I did use it for this eye look, and I was like, okay, I can see myself reaching for this palette for something like a nude classic tone. I was like, all right, these can kind of be like my go-to shades. Very simple and easy, but I love it type of a deal. So I was like, okay, cool. I just gotta find my color combos. I'm starting to love this palette even more. I think any of these type of color schemes, I think you'll find something for yourself. So I'm definitely looking forward to E.L.F. coming out with more of these, because I love even the packaging. So slim and simple, but just great for travel, to carry it with you, something every day or on the go. Love it. So excited. You need to try one of these. Let me know which one's your favorites and if I need to pick that one up next. Next, favorite products from E.L.F. I think you should totally try out. I think this is kind of great. I use this in a combination. I have dry skin. If you're new here to my channel, if you haven't heard me talk about it, complain about it, but I actually mix these two because I feel like the one that everybody loves, this is a face primer. I finally got my hands on it, the E.L.F. Poreless Putty Face Primer. This is $8, and everybody's kind of comparing this to like a Tasha, their silky canvas type of face primer, but for $8, I was like, I need to get my hands on it. I finally did. I have dry skin, so specifically why this isn't like, oh my god, yes, like this is my number one, is because I tend to like lean towards more hydrating type of primers, more primers that are gonna give me specifically that dewy, luminous skin effect, which is hard to achieve when you have dry skin. Once again, complaining about my dry skin, but we can find things that help that out. So therefore I feel like all over my face, it's not exactly what I want and need. But when it comes to primers, you don't need to just choose one face primer. You can combine, because you're not gonna have just one problem area. You're not gonna have just one thing you kind of need for your face primer to kind of help you out with. And specifically, I feel like as I'm aging, I love to use this E.L.F. Poreless Putty Face Primer. It's a tongue twister. I love to use it specifically right here around my cheeks, just like right here under where like my pores are definitely more prominent. That is where I've seen the greatest difference. But in combination, this is a new favorite, also $8, and look at the size. This is the E.L.F. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, because I love that dew. I love that luminosity. So honestly, these two together, I do the E.L.F. Dew Primer around the perimeters of my face and down my T-zone. So for those of you who have oily skin and that's, you know, your oily T-zone, I'm the opposite. I am like the Sahara Desert down on my T-zone, so freaking dry on my forehead and my nose. So I kind of, maybe you might do the opposite type of a deal, but if you have oily skin, definitely, you know, feel free to do the poreless putty down your face, because it doesn't specifically mattify. It's like a natural finish, but I want to glow. So these two together, yes, this is my favorite. I love them so much. If you have normal to oily skin, maybe you just need the poreless putty primer for $8. And honestly, a little bit goes a long way with this little primer. So I feel like this is gonna last a while. And same thing with this dew primer. The only thing about this is that I feel like it might be limited edition. So I would definitely say try to get your hands on it now. And I hope they kind of give us like a little deadline as to when they're gonna pull this so I can pick it up, because I love this combination so much. This E.L.F. Jelly Pop Primer, I think I just used it in a previous tutorial. I haven't talked about it in depth too much. I've been using it. It's a newer product, but in case you missed my last video, why I love it is because, once again, you get that nice dewy, more luminous effect, but also it's definitely a stickier, tackier. It's one of those grip primers. It feels tacky, it feels kind of sticky, but I feel like it grips onto my makeup, similar to the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. But what this does for me, someone with dry skin, I feel like it still gives me that boost of luminosity that I so crave. So kind of something for dry skin, and if you want oily skin, maybe oily, normal, dry. I feel like the Milk Hydro Grip I love, but if I want that boosted luminosity, I'm gonna go for E.L.F. And if I wanna save some money, $8, I'm gonna go towards E.L.F. So now for foundation, this is kind of where I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm hoping and waiting for E.L.F. to come out with a foundation that I love for dry skin. The only one that I have fallen in love with, and unfortunately it looks like they might have discontinued it. I went to their website to see if it's, you know, coming. Hopefully maybe they're just gonna reformulate it, but it is their moisturizing foundation stick. This one, I'm definitely a huge fan of. I didn't wear it today just because it's definitely a little bit too light for me right now for my skin tone, but I'll put that video down below. A couple of cons for this one was that they really didn't have that many colors to choose from. I feel like that's how I was with their other Flawless Finish foundation, which I tried, but honestly I feel like that's better for normal to oily skin. This one was perfect for dry skin. They just discontinued it. Hopefully they're reformulating it, and hopefully they'll come out with more colors. I love it. Blending it in with the brush gave me that nice luminous, like a natural finish effect. So E.L.F., please bring me something for dry skin that's gonna give me that luminosity. I'm hoping and I'm praying. Concealer. So E.L.F. used to have like their HD concealer, which I tried. I thought it was fine. But E.L.F. has really stepped the game up with a lot of products over the years, and recently they came out with the 16-hour camo concealer. This concealer is $6 and it is amazing. I love it so much. I also tried their Flawless Finish concealer, which I think is fine if you have no dark circles. I have dark circles. So I definitely need something more on the medium to full coverage, or in general, I prefer something in the medium to full coverage. I have mine in the shade medium sand, which now that I'm tan, I can actually go a shade darker, and because it's only $6, I don't mind doing that. Maybe it's even $5, I'm not sure. Because it's so cheap, I can buy 2 for like the price of 1. Some of these like other like higher end drugstore concealers, it feels higher end drugstore because it's like, this is only how much, and how much are other drugstore brands charging for? Almost double. Excuse me, I'm gonna go to E.L.F. So this concealer definitely has very reminiscent of the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, that large doe foot applicator, the creaminess, the blendability. I love it so much. I think this is a great drugstore option. And if you're someone who loves coverage, you want something a little bit more mattifying but not overly drying underneath the eyes, I think you're gonna love this E.L.F 16-hour Camo Concealer. I love the coverage of it as well, especially maybe when I'm lazy or I want to save some money and I don't want to use maybe something as expensive as my MAC Painterly paint pot or soft ochre paint pot. A eyeshadow base, it's like $20. When you don't want to spend that, I would just go in with this E.L.F 16-hour concealer. And because the coverage is so great, it'll just kind of create like a nice base for the shadows to kind of grip onto and last all day, and just make them stand out even more, because it just kind of creates like a beautiful, nice, clean canvas for you. So if you guys haven't tried this, you definitely should. Highly recommend. Definitely one of my top favorites from my favorites of E.L.F Cosmetics. The next product that I love, oh my god. Okay, so I love me some good brows, but I love me some good affordable brows, because brows is definitely something I always have to do when I do my makeup, whether it's simple, whether it's like glam, you need your brows. It frames your face, it makes a difference. E.L.F came out with their ultra precise brow pencil. This is like $5 or $6. I feel like everything's like $5 or $6. And I love it. I love it so much. They have a couple of different shades to choose from, which is nice, rather than just like 3 or 4 shades. So they did good with their brow color selection. Of course, we can always use more, but this is definitely one of those precise brows. This is one of my favorite brow pencils. I love the LA Girl brow pencil, Wet n Wild, Maybelline, NYX, and now E.L.F. They got my brows. They got me covered with my brows. I remember years ago, I tried one of their very affordable, it was like $2 brow pencil, which I thought was good. But they came out with this. I'll pay like $3 more for this brow pencil. Hell yeah, because this is something I definitely have to keep repurchasing. I always like to have a backup with me. So if I can get 2 brow pencils for the price of 1, if I can get 5 brow pencils, no, not even like 6. 5 or 6 brow pencils for the price of 1 high-end brow pencil, yes, I would totally do it. So E.L.F is definitely on the rotating list of brow pencils to keep repurchasing. So we have a couple of these palettes from E.L.F, which I think are awesome. I think these are only like $6, which is pretty amazing. I totally forgot to use this while I was doing this tutorial. I was just so excited to use so many E.L.F products. But one product that I don't have a demo for here, but I'll link my video down below so you can see that original review and demo that I did years ago. This is the E.L.F Cream Contour Palette. First of all, I love the packaging for these little mini palettes. These have, so you can have 4 different shades right here, and I'll open it up. Another favorite thing that I love is this huge mirror. Like, this is great for traveling, but let me not blind you. I'm gonna put this upside down. But so these are the, so these are the cream contour and highlights products, and honestly, these are great. I think it's like $6, less than 10. But the way that these glide onto the skin, they don't tug. If you're someone who wants to get into cream contouring, but you don't feel like spending $40+ at Sephora for a cream contour palette with like 8 different colors that you're not even gonna use, you wanna try it out, test the waters, see how you even like cream contouring, this is definitely a great go-to. I love they have a couple of different shades to try out, something a little bit lighter, darker, and then this yellow under eye highlight to kind of brighten and really shape the face. Like, this is a great like beginner to like experience whatever you're looking for. You just want to save some money. Definitely recommend this one. It blends out beautifully. It just contours and chisels my face beautifully. I kind of regret not using it because I was like, ooh, I could have looked even more sculpted. but if you guys haven't tried this out, you totally should. A couple of options for like highlights, under eye setting powders, and bronzer contour palettes. One of them that I didn't use today, I'll talk about that one next, but to set my under eyes, I did use, once again, one of these palettes. You can kind of pop these out. This is your just regular powder highlight and contour palette. A couple things about this. I love this banana shade for the under eye setting powder. It comes with like, is this? No, this is matte. This is, yeah, something even lighter. So that's the light highlight. And then this is the yellow one, which obviously I'm using the yellow one. And then you have two kind of like a bronzer and contour powder specifically. The only con from this palette is that it looks like it just only comes in one type of shade range. Like this is it. They don't have something a little bit deeper, which I think would be great. Hopefully they can expand, but I'm not mad at it because of my next product, so it's okay. This came out years ago. However, if you needed something simple, I think if you're like my skin tone, this is like perfect. Something a little bit darker, I think you're gonna want to find something individually. But don't worry, E.L.F has some combos for you, which I would definitely talk about next. But ooh, just so silky smooth, especially for the under eye setting powder. It's not gritty, it's not like caking on more product. Really, really finely milled powder. I've tried some of their other loose setting powders. I think they're fine. I wasn't really impressed by anything specifically. Definitely interested in trying them again, but for right now, I'm totally fine, specifically for this under eye setting powder. And what's kind of cool about it, and as I have these other palettes, I have one more little mini palette. I can probably pop this little guy out and just add it into one of the other palettes and make my own type of a deal and just travel with that. So the reason why I'm not mad at E.L.F Cosmetics for not having something a little bit deeper is because I like to have something a little bit more customizable. You only need one. I don't need a whole freaking palette for just my face, but so impressed. They came out with their bronzers. It came out, I think they have like 3 or 4 different shades. Mine is in the shade Forever Sunkissed, kind of in the middle, but I use this to contour, highlight, well not contour, bronze my face slash kind of contour in combination. Like this is a great, this is like their primer infused bronzer. So it's like, ooh, this is gonna be really smooth for me. But what really makes this a bronzer like my favorite, what makes it even better, is this E.L.F brush. This is like their Flawless Air brush. This is only $10. I've got to tell you, I think this is my absolute favorite E.L.F product. Like, if I lost this and they discontinued this brush, like, I would be so sad. Honestly, I think I need to buy like 3 more just to have, but this brush, $10 well spent. This is just what it's like called. It's like Flawless Airbrush. This is my favorite brush to apply bronzer or contour, especially bronzer, because it just, if you're someone who has trouble applying bronzer or contour, this just makes it so easy, so dummy proof. Like honestly, you just need to just kind of glide it on, brush it up, tap it on, and it's flawless. Like, they did so good with this brush. I kind of want to try out the other ones from this line. This is definitely their more expensive line of brushes. $10, I know it's crazy. But oh my god, E.L.F did so good. Like, I try to wash this when I can so I can reuse it, and I miss it when I don't get to use it. But these 2 products is bronzer and this a bronzer brush. You can totally use this probably for maybe even like foundation if you wanted to, or a blush as well. But for bronzer, ooh, this is like the perfect match. So pick up the bronzer in your shade and pick up the brush and tell me that I'm wrong. Like, you will not be disappointed. The next product that I want to quickly mention that I don't have with me, but I'll insert a photo here just because I had used it so much for a while now, and I was like, okay, it's time to get a new one. You know, kind of washing it was kind of like, all right, it's time for a new one. Is the E.L.F sponge, their face sponge, their beauty sponge. That was like $4 and totally worth it. It was just one of those where it's like every beauty sponge has its lifespan. It's not meant to kind of last forever or as long as, say, a brush. In general, it's a sponge. You've got to replace it. There's going to be some things in there. So I was like, okay, I need to pick up another one for $4. So actually, I think I'm going to do that the next time I go to Ulta. But that sponge was pretty freaking great. Max was like $6. But the fact that I think it was like $4 at like Ulta, so who knows how much it is at Walmart. You need to get that face sponge. If you're looking for an affordable face sponge, pick up the E.L.F. one. I'll link down below my full review and demo. Next, two products. I'm going to talk about another mini palette. I know, E.L.F. with all the freaking palettes. This is their blush palette. I think they have a couple of different blush palettes too, which is awesome. This is their light blush palette, and I think they have like a medium deep one. But first of all, for it being a light palette, I love that it's not like a pasty pale pastel light, you know, type of mixture of colors. Like, this is a nice hint of pigmentation, colors where I'm not gonna look washed out or like I put like ashy, you know, something on my face. I love it so much. I love that you have your pinks. I love that they kind of have like this burnt orange type of peachy shade. Of course, I went for this one today, but I think the formula is great. The pigmentation, blendability. Once again, if I can get those three things and a great price, I'm down. And E.L.F. has a lot of products that meet that requirement for me. So if you guys in general want to experiment with some different blushes, some different colors, and if you want something for, you know, your lighter skin tone, or if maybe you have more medium to deep skin tone, that I love that they kind of came out with that contrast. Now, if you're like, I don't need all those blushes, E.L.F. came out with, I believe, again, a primer infused blush, and I picked up mine in the shade Always Cheeky. Once again, this is a peach shade. This one specifically I didn't use today because I definitely got tanner, and I feel like this one is like more my winter color. Even when I did try it on though, it doesn't look too like washed out ashy. It's like a nice peachy shade. So for me, I'm just like, all right, I think I just need to get a darker peach shade, so I need to go shopping yet again. But I think this formula as well, I think is really great. I think E.L.F., I love that they kind of came out with this formula for their blushes and bronzers. Once again, I'm not really a blush girl, but I love to kind of have them in different brands, for especially when I do my tutorials and stuff, mix it up a little bit. But just know it's probably going to be a peachy blush. If you haven't tried peach blush, you should totally try it out. Highlights, two different types of highlights that I love a lot. A new one that I just tried out, and honestly, I've been using it more and I really like it. I have it on my face today. This is like their metallic highlighters that they just came out with. This one is in the shade 24 Karat Gold. I love that they have a couple of different colors, so depending on your skin tone or your preference, and I just love how affordable it is. I'll admit, when I first tried it, kind of had like maybe that top like layer of film, since I just kind of like did like a swipe through. Since then, we've been glowing. I was like, all right, I see what the hype is about. I'm down. E.L.F. has a couple of different highlight formulas. They also have another palette, which I also did have. It's not my favorite. I like it. I feel like it's a nice subtle highlights. So for those of you who like a subtle, simple highlight, but I'm not about that subtle, obviously, with my makeup channel here, I want a beaming highlight. I want people to notice it. If I'm gonna put on makeup, I want it to be seen, shown type of video. Sometimes maybe you might have, we'll call them chill days. But even on the chill day, I'll take a beaming highlight. And I think this one is totally one of those. Is that right there? Ooh. I think fingers and or with a highlight brush. Ugh, so love it so much. So I think they did a great job with this one. This one is definitely like one of those intense highlights. This reminds me a lot of like the Maybelline, their molten highlights, rose gold, molten gold, talked about in my last video. So it's definitely more on that range in intense. Not as intense, but buildable. These are their HD highlighting powders. And I think I actually broke the one that would probably be best suited for my skin tone right now. But normally I would probably go for this shade, Starlight Glow. Definitely a little bit lighter, more on the light champagne-y side. The other one that I broke is definitely a little bit more golden, but I feel like if you don't want super intense, you'd rather just build up to the intensity. I think these, so soft. Such a soft highlight that you can just kind of build up. Last but not least, on my favorites, lipsticks. And honestly, E.L.F. has so many awesome lip products. If you want to try some affordable lip products, I would definitely recommend going the E.L.F. route. I've got some couple of different options, type of lip products. The first ones, let's talk about the liquid matte matte lipsticks by E.L.F. I did a whole swatch video for you guys if you want to see the different colors, but this is a great affordable liquid lipstick. If you're someone who wants to get into liquid lipsticks, if you want to try liquid lipsticks, you want some like nice pinks, maybe you want brighter berries, maybe you want a peach, I would definitely recommend the E.L.F. ones. It's definitely on the lighter side. It's not a thick formula, so I feel like it doesn't last maybe as, depending what you're doing, it doesn't last as long if you're like eating and drinking. Of course, I feel like even the craziest of lipstick formulas might kind of, you know, come off there. But definitely a very comfortable matte liquid lipstick. One of my favorites from the drugstore. The next one, lip gloss. E.L.F. has some great lip plumping lip gloss. So it kind of gives you a little tingy sensation while making them look a little bit more plump on the lips. And this one is in the shade Champagne Glam. So of course, I have so many champagne shades, but I love this one. It's a great, ooh, it's got kind of like that, ooh, that like NARS highlight lipstick, their blushes, anything in like that NARS Orgasm type of shade. So it's like a nice little topper. Ooh, love it so much. And it smells pretty good. It's definitely on the sweeter side, but you not only get some nice juicy lips, but it's like amped up a little bit. Last but not least, I think this is my #1 favorite lipstick product from E.L.F. I fell in love with these. I think these are like $4, $5, $6, no more than $6. This is their matte lipsticks, their creamy matte lipsticks, and this is in their traditional lipstick form. So for those of you who don't like liquid lipsticks, because they're definitely too dehydrating, this one is not going to be like a kiss proof, but it's on the creamier, comfortable matte side. Oh my god, check out my lipstick swatch. I might have to do like an updated one because I feel like they released some new colors. But this shade that I'm wearing on my lips, this is my favorite. This one is in the shade a deep burgundy, and it is just that, like, every time I put this on, I feel some type of way about myself and my lips. If you're looking for a perfect burgundy shade like this is it. E.L.F. Cosmetics. You can probably get it really cheap at Target and Walmart as well. Probably even cheaper than I bought it for, cheaper than $6, but oh my god. These. You need these lipsticks. I love everything about them. I love the price. I love the formula. I love the pigmentation. Oh my god, I love the lasting power for something that's not kiss proof, but especially when I do bold lips, I want to go more on the matte side, whether it's like a comfortable matte. That's just what I want to do, but the fact that it's like one swipe, oh my god. Okay, let's see if we can. Ooh. Yeah, like look at that. Oh my god, I love this. Ugh, so beautiful. If you guys haven't picked up these lipsticks, they're so bright. Ugh, I love the color selection that they have with these. I think they have like a really bright pink that I kind of want to get and wear soon. But E.L.F. did a great job with these. So let me know if you've picked these up, or if not, you should add them on your list. I'm just telling you right now, add these on to your list. So those are my favorite E.L.F. Cosmetics products. Comment down below if my favorites are your favorites, and if you enjoyed this video, if you're adding anything to your wish list. Like honestly, next time you're at Target, Walmart, Walgreens, like I just love that you can find E.L.F. any just like random places where you might go, especially if you go like to Walgreens, Walmart, or Target and you just happen to grab a bag of hot Cheetos and your makeup too. Just throw it in the bag type of a day and not feel super guilty because you spent $5 on a concealer, or you spent, you know, like $5 on just one little product, but it just makes a difference in your makeup routine. I mean, isn't that like the best type of day? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which brand you would love to see next from my favorites, because once again, I have tried a lot of drugstore makeup, a lot of different products, and they're always coming out with new ones, and I totally get that overwhelming feeling of where do I even start in general when you just walk into the drugstore, when you see all the brands. Then you even try to narrow it down to one brand, and honestly, there's some hits and there's some misses, but I definitely wanted to talk about the hidden gems from the drugstore and all these specific brands. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with some more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.